Alright, if you've gotten this page, we're going to quickly review the phases of the moon. So on the back of this, let's draw it. You can draw it by yourself or you can follow along in the video, whichever works best for you. So we're going to start with, always start with your earth and your sun. So I don't care where you put your sun, it doesn't matter to me, but I suggest anytime you are answering a question with the moon phases that you do draw your own moon phase picture so you don't get confused. So there's my sun. I put it on the left-hand side. Here's my earth. A little funky looking. If you recognize the season as winter for the northern hemisphere, right? Then you are correct. Alright, we're going to always start with the moon phase that lies directly between the sun and the earth, which is our new moon. What you see in the night sky is basically nothing. The moon is all dark because the light from the sun is hitting it on this side and we only see the dark side. So this is a new moon. Now, what I would do next is go straight across to the other side. Here is our full moon. Now, if you were looking at the moon, you would know that the sun is hitting it here. You see from Earth this side. So you see the light from the sun. This side is dark, which the back side is dark, and you don't see that. All right. The moon revolves around the Earth counterclockwise, so not like the clock, but against the clock in this direction. So the moon will go from new moon to full moon back to new moon. So it revolves counterclockwise. One lunar revolution takes about 30 days. Okay, so about a month or a month. Okay, so here's our new moon, here's our full moon. As we go from new to full moon, we are waxing on the light. Light on right, meaning on the right side of the moon until we get to full, then it's all the way filling up that side we see. Alright, from full moon back to new moon, we are waning, off, light, no light on right. Alright, so the next phases that I would draw in, now that we've established our new and full moon phase, would be our quarter moons. So directly between the two and perpendicular to Earth, here we have our first quarter. And we said light is on the right when we're waxing, so we're going to kind of slice it in half and color this side dark because light is on this side. And then we're going to go to this moon phase. Once again, it's a quarter moon, so we're going to slice it in half. It's the third quarter moon. No light on right, so there's no light on this side, so I'm going to color this side dark. So now you have 4 phases already, okay? So now we just need to kind of fill in the gaps here. So from new to first quarter, remember we're going from all the way dark, so it can't go to this or to this right away. It goes really slowly. So every night it gets a little bit more light on the right hand side that you can see. And when it gets to like this phase, where it has a little crescent part showing, the lit part showing here, the crescent, we call this a waxing crescent. Waxing because it's growing on the light till full. Crescent because it has that little crescent shape, just like my fingernail tip. See that? Alright. After the first quarter, well, yes, the moon's going to get a little bit more light. Remember, it's the sunlight reflecting off the moon that we're seeing, and we're depending on where the moon is around Earth is how we kind of catch a glimpse at whatever way, however the phase is playing out. So that's wherever it is in its motion around the Earth and how the sun is hitting it. That's what we see. That's the phase we see. So we're going to get a little bit more light, more than this. So I call these a waxing gibbous. It's almost full, but there's a little bit here to the side missing. Light is on the right, remember, because we're waxing. So this is a waxing gibbous. Alright. Alright, there's our full moon. Now we got to full, we're done. It doesn't get any fuller than full. So now we're going to have to wane off the light to get back all the way to the new moon phase. As we wane off the light, the moon is going to lose some of the light. But no light is going to be on the right. So, in other words, as it loses light on the right-hand side. So we're going to go just like we got to this point and grew on the light. We're going to slowly take the light off or wane the light off as we go back to new moon. This would be a waning gibbous. And then the next named phase is that third quarter. And then we have one more named phase, which is the waning crescent. It looks like this. So there's a crescent left on the left. Everything else is dark. It's our waning crescent. Alright. So far so good. There's a couple of more things we need to tie in with this. The first thing is that a new moon and a full moon phase are also the phases where you get spring tides. Y'all remember that? This is when the water level reaches its highest in the oceans, because that moon and the sun and the earth, they're all in alignment. So spring tide, full moon, spring tide, new moon. Okay? If you can remember, spring tides happen in a straight line. Moon, sun, and earth are in a straight line. Maybe we should add that. Spring tides, straight line. Meaning sun, earth, moon aligned. Okay? Alright, and these are the highest of tides. Highest of high and lowest of low. Okay. Alright, so let's see. Alright, so here you have the spring tides. Let's mention our neap tides, our first and third quarter. So this would be a neap and neap. So how do we remember that? Well, neap tides aren't that high, first of all. But a neap tide, the N, let that stand for not straight. So it's not a straight line. In other words, here we have the sun, earth, moon, not aligned. That's how you're going to remember a neap tide. So actually they would be at right angles. Right? There's a right angle there. We could put that right angle. Okay. Alright, so much for the tides. One more tidbit of information before we cut this video off. Remember 30 days? So from a new moon, let's say new moon is day 1. Then our full moon would be about day 15, day 14, 15. Right? So between the two, That's about 7 to 8 days, right? Or wait a minute, 15 divided by 2. Yeah, about 7.5 days. So we're going to say this is about day 7. We're going to say day 14, 15, somewhere in there. So about every 7 days, about every 3 to 4 days, you have a new moon phase. So if this is day 1, this is day 3, let's say this is day 7, this would be day 10, 11. This would day 14, 15. So 3 days later would be like day 18, 19, 20, 21. This would be about day 21, day 25, 26. And then back to here, which would be day 30, 29, 30. Okay? So just so you can figure out how to, if you have to count on a map, the difference in, like, from one moon to another moon, go with the 1450 days between the two major phases, new moon or full. You can also go from those directly across from each other are also going to be always 15 days apart. So from waxing crescent to waning gibbous, that would be 14 days. 14 to 15 days. From first quarter to third quarter, 14 to 15 days, because they're exactly across. Okay? All right, I hope this helps you, and good luck with your moon phases.